The Daily Grind of Divine Rewards. Chapter 1, The First Sign-In. Alex Thorne stared at the instant noodle cup on his cracked coffee table as if it might magically sprout shrimp. It didn't. The steam rising from the spicy beef broth was the only warm thing in his damp, basement apartment. His phone buzzed. It was a notification from his bank. Account balance, $4.32. Perfect, Alex muttered, rubbing his tired eyes. Just enough to buy one more cup of noodles to ponder how I'm going to pay rent next week. At 24, Alex had envisioned a life of architectural design and city skylines. Instead, he was drowning in student debt, working a dead-end job as a data entry clerk, and living in a place where the mold had mandatory quiet hours. He picked up the noodle cup, intending to finish his lukewarm dinner, when the world glitched. It didn't just blink, it tore. Reality shimmered like a heat haze on asphalt, and then a semi-transparent blue window materialized 6 inches in front of his face. Initialization complete. Alex froze, the plastic fork halfway to his mouth. Okay, he whispered. The mold has definitely become hallucinogenic. He waved his hand through the air. His fingers passed through the window without resistance, but the words didn't vanish. Welcome, user Alex Thorne, to the omnipotent registry system. You have been selected based on your exceptionally low karma score and desperate life circumstances. To help balance the cosmic scales, you have been granted the ultimate ability, effortless acquisition. Rule 1, show up. Rule 2, profit. Is this a prank? Alex looked around his tiny room, searching for hidden cameras. If this is punked, you guys are about 20 years too late. The text on the screen shifted. Daily sign-in available. Would you like to sign in for Noodle Cup Apartment, location level, F, yes, no? Alex looked at the blinking, yes. His heart hammered against his ribs. It felt insane. It felt delusional. But his life was already a disaster. What was the harm in clicking a holographic button? He reached out and tapped, yes. A gentle chime, like a silver bell, echoed in his mind. Sign-in successful. Location grade, F, poor. Calculating reward based on location theme. Reward granted. You have received 1 case, 24 units, of premium Ichiraku ramen, black truffle flavor. Wait, what? There was a soft pop of displaced air. Alex jumped back, knocking over his half-eaten dinner. The floor was instantly stained with red broth, but Alex didn't care. Sitting in the middle of his tiny floor space was a pristine, cardboard box with Japanese lettering on the side. Through the plastic wrapping, he could see the individual cups of ramen. Black truffle flavor. Alex knelt down, his hands shaking. He ripped the plastic. It was real. Cardboard. Plastic. The smell of high-end seasonings faintly wafting through the wrapping. I just got 24 meals for pushing a button, he whispered. He looked back up. The system window was still there, but it had changed. Daily sign-in cooldown, 23 hours, 59 minutes. Accumulated sign-ins, 1. Tip, the better the location, the better the reward. Hospitals grant health potions. Banks grant currency. Ancient ruins grant magic. Explore your world, user. Alex grabbed his jacket. He didn't care that it was raining, or that it was 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Banks grant currency. He ran. He ran 3 blocks down to the central business district, his lungs burning, until he stood in front of the massive, granite facade of the First National Bank building. It was locked, dark, and imposing. He stood right in front of the ATM, under the glow of a security camera. System, he thought fiercely. Sign in. The blue window popped up. Location, First National Bank, Regional Branch, location level, C, prosperous. Daily sign-in already completed. Please wait for cooldown. Alex groaned, leaning his head against the cold glass of the bank door. Right. Daily sign-in. He couldn't spam it. He had to plan. He walked home slowly, the rain soaking through his worn-out sneakers. He was wet and cold, but for the first time in years, he wasn't afraid. The next day, Alex was a new man at work. When his manager, a man who smelled perpetually of stale coffee and unearned self-importance, dumped a stack of files on Alex's desk, Alex didn't flinch. Need these digitized by 5, Thorne, the manager huffed. Sure thing, Mr. Henderson, Alex smiled. He was looking just past Henderson's ear, watching a countdown timer in his peripheral vision. 10, 9, 8. At precisely 12:01 p.m., exactly 24 hours after he had opened the first case of ramen, the system bloomed. Daily sign-in available. Location, Omnicorp Data Center, location level, D, corporate. Alex sat back in his creaky office chair. A data center. Dull. Corporate. What would that give him? Better software? A faster keyboard? He mentally selected yes. Chime. Sign in successful. Location grade D. Reward granted. You have received passive skill, Grandmaster data proficiency. Suddenly, a cold, sharp sensation flooded Alex's brain, like a brain freeze but without the pain. Information rushed in. Coding languages he had never studied, shortcut keys he'd never used, data structures that used to make his head swim now seemed as simple as addition. He looked at the stack of files Henderson had left. Before, that was 8 hours of agonizing, soul-crushing work. Now, Alex's fingers flew across the keyboard. He didn't even need to look at the screen. He was creating macros, writing scripts, and processing data at a speed that should have melted his computer's processor. He was done in 15 minutes. For the rest of the day, Alex sat back, sipped bad office coffee, and planned his route. He was done with grade D locations. Grade C banks were okay, but he needed to think bigger. What was the highest-rated location in the city? 3 days later, Alex stood outside the gates of the Oak Haven Military Research Facility. The sign read Restricted Area. Deadly Force Authorized. He was sweaty. He was violating federal law just by standing on the perimeter line. But over the last few days, he had signed in at a gym, receiving Permanent Vitality Booster +1, and a pharmacy, receiving Panacea Pill, cures all common ailments. He was addicted. He stepped over the painted yellow line onto the facility's property. Instantly, an alarm blared. Stop right there. Raise your hands. A voice boomed over a loudspeaker. 2 armed guards in full tactical gear burst from a side gate, their rifles pointed directly at his chest. Alex didn't panic. He just waited for the system beep. Location, Oak Haven Military Facility, Black Site, location level, S, legendary. Sign-in available. Alex smirked as red laser sights dotted his chest. Yes. Chime. The sound was louder this time, triumphant. Sign-in successful. Location grade, S, reward granted, congratulations. You have received the legendary passive ability, physical immunity, kinetic. Description. No physical object moving at velocity can harm the user. Bullets, knives, punches, and falling debris will pass through or bounce off harmlessly. The guards opened fire. Alex felt the impact of the bullets, not as pain, but as small, harmless thuds, like being hit by styrofoam balls. The bullets flattened and dropped to the concrete around his feet in a pattering rhythm. The guards stopped firing, their faces pale beneath their helmets. Alex brushed a stray piece of lead off his shoulder. He looked at the system screen, which was already counting down to his next sign-in. Tomorrow, he decided, he would visit the city's largest museum. He wondered what kind of reward he'd get for signing in next to a T-Rex skeleton.